Okay, so I want to talk a bit about a mindset that really helped me on my journey to getting ripped. Just burning fat and building muscle and staying consistent with the journey. Because as we all know, the biggest struggle on this journey, on your personal development journey of getting the body you want and getting your habits nailed down and your mindset, is going to be the consistency. It's going to be the discipline. It's going to be the hardest thing for you to actually maintain because there's so many things that come up in our day-to-day life, right? You'll just have some little event come up or someone invites you somewhere or something comes up and you fall off track. So what I want to talk about is how the weekends are a very important time for you to focus and actually nail down your habits and go even harder on the weekends. In society, there's this narrative, right, that basically, let me move this camera back a little bit. In society, there's this narrative that basically, when it comes to the weekends, it's, just free for all, right? It's just days off. You just don't do the same habits that you do during the week. That's because everyone, when you're working 9 to 5, you work Monday through Friday, so you train to have your regular routine, and then the weekend comes and it's supposed to be like, fun time or just time to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do. This creates a really big problem, right? Because this is a mindset of basically certain days where you actually put in all your effort and certain days where you don't. And this is the mindset that I had to change within myself. Was I had to understand that if I want to be very successful in this endeavor, you want to get it done fast, you want to just change your entire physique and change your life in an actual quick amount of time and not like wait, a year. You have to get out of the mindset of the rest of society. And the majority of society, what do they do on the weekends? They go out, they smoke, they drink, they're doing cheat meals, they don't train anymore. They don't do any of the shit that they need to do to get the outcome that they say they want. Everyone says they want to be ripped, but when you look at what the daily habits are, when you look at what they actually do, they're not doing the things necessary to get that outcome. So for you, it's going to be super important that on the weekends you don't take days off, right? You still hit your macros on the weekends. You still do your training. You still make sure you do all the other daily habits. You stay away from specifically the habits. And this is where it gets really dangerous because the daily habits, what is that? Ambulance? Dude, I swear every video, that's going to become like a new theme of my videos. It's just every time I make a video, there's an ambulance or some shit that goes off. Fire truck. But basically what you need to focus on is making sure you don't take days off, and the mentality of days off needs to go away. You need to be thinking of, this is the day I want to live and this is the optimal day. This is my optimal day. So why would I take a break from something that's so optimal? Why would I take a break for something that's literally bettering my life? Why would I go out this weekend and go drink and get completely wasted when I know, number one, that's going to screw up my macros. Number two, it's going to promote me to get more fat. And number three, it's going to lower my discipline and really instill an instant gratification mindset. So that's the problem. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't do fun shit on the weekends, right? And this is what everybody gets wrong. They're like, oh, well, this must be a really boring life. This must really suck because you can't do anything. And it's like, no, you're just not doing destructive behaviors. You're just not doing the bare minimum necessary, like, to literally reach your goals, bro. Like, there's certain habits you have to actually hit every single week, all throughout the week, every single day, if you want to get the outcome quickly. I mean, if you want this to take a year, 2 years, 3 years, okay, fine. But most of you want this transformation fast, right? So in order for you to get this transformation, this life transformation, you have to put in the work daily. It's not about, oh, I'm going to take the weekends off. It's not about that. Because that's what everyone else out here does. And look at the majority of people's lives out here. They're out of shape. They're broke. They have no purpose. Their inner state is just horrible. They don't work on their personal development. Disease, all these negative things are happening out here. And it's because there's no self-mastery. And then when it comes to the weekend, it's like, oh, well, we're just going to forget about it, whatever. We'll just start up on Monday. That's not going to work, bro. If you want results fast, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And it's harder to leave the state and then get back into the flow. Like, if you ever noticed that, say, like for me, I've noticed a whole bunch of times. Anytime I go on vacation and I come back, my ability to stay like with my habits has decreased tenfold. Now, I don't really drink anymore. I don't drink at all anymore. But when I was, like, in the beginning of this year, I went on vacation down to Florida with me and my cousins and stuff, and we were drinking, and I noticed when I got back, it was 10 times harder for me to get back into that flow of doing the daily habits that I needed to do in order to reach that goal that I was trying to reach. And so it's no different on the weekends. The weekends are basically like mini vacations or mini escapes from, your miserable life that they basically grant you to keep you somewhat sane. And so the key is to make sure that you push harder on the weekends. Because while everybody else is taking the weekends off and just sitting at home, watching TV, high as fuck, just binging out on junk food, you're going to be in the gym building that physique that you want to build. You are going to be hitting your macros and maintaining your habits, right, on a daily basis. You're still going to be doing your meditation. You're still going to be doing your journaling. So don't give up on your habits just because it's the weekend. And it's Friday today. So I felt inspired to make this video because it's like, I used to live this life where it was like, oh, I'm going to work hard for 5 days, but then Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to get wasted, I'm going to eat a bunch of junk food, and I'm not going to train. And okay, so you're not going to follow your daily habits on the weekend? Why? Why? Just because society says that you shouldn't do that and you should, that's a psyop. That's literally a psyop to keep you in a mediocre position in life. I mean, the weekends basically make up, what, almost 30% or 33%? Almost 1/3 of the year is made up of weekends, almost. So you have to think, if you're going to be not only not doing the good habits, but you're going to be doing the bad habits on the weekend, you're taking 2 steps back. You're taking 2 steps backwards. Because all that deficit that you were just in, all the macros that you just hit this week are all wiped out because now you're in a surplus of calories because you decided, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to just completely forget about my macros and I'm just going to go binge eat a whole bunch of food. Or, oh, I'm going to go out and, get wasted with the boys and, drink 10 beers and then, wow, okay, now I'm way back up over my limit and I feel like shit the next day, which all has a compounding negative effect. So don't use the weekends as an escape from the work that needs to be done. Use the weekends as a launch pad to beat everybody else around you and make insane progress. So everybody's like, whoa, how the fuck is this guy moving so fast? Well, it's because you're not spending 1/3 of your year intoxicated. You're not spending 1/3 of your year eating surplus calories when you're trying to get ripped. I mean, there's going to be sacrifices that you have to make. And the reality is, if you're not willing to make these sacrifices, you're going to get beaten by other people. Right? And not only other people, you're not even going to make it yourself. You're not going to make progress yourself. And that is just a negative spiral because then you feel bad about the fact that you had a cheat meal and you went over and you started drinking. So my method always that's worked for me the best is just to go cold turkey on everything and just to do everything like every day the same way. Don't look for excuses. Don't look for ways out. Don't look for like, oh, it's Saturday and Sunday. My friends want me to go here, so I'm just going to basically forget about all my daily habits and just go do that, because now you have to get back in the flow and it's going to be more difficult. And this is it, man. This is why so few people have the body they want to have. This is why so few people have that discipline and the habits and the daily habits and the life that they want and that they see other people having, because they're not willing to make the sacrifice. So if you're not willing to make the sacrifice, and this sounds like too much work to you, you're probably not ever going to really get those results that you want. I mean, only really 8-10% of the United States population of men actually has abs, is actually ripped. And that doesn't even account, that does not even account for the fact that a lot of guys are just skinny. They don't actually work out, they don't actually eat properly, they're just skinny and they have, skinny boy abs. So it could be more like 4%, 5% are actually ripped, like actually have abs, actually have muscle, got the veins, like actually look good and like, lean enough where if they sat down on a beach, they would stand out. So that's a very small percentage, and that should tell you something. The majority of people are never going to reach that state. So if you want to be one of those people, I'm telling you right now, one of the biggest things that you can do to get ahead, one of the biggest things that you can do to stay consistent is to not be skipping the weekends and to stop treating the weekends as a fucking escape. Stop drinking, stop doing the drugs, stop binge eating, just cut it all out, and just every single day do the necessary steps. You know what they are. I talk about them all the time. It's the 4 pillars, right? It's the mindset, it's the habits, it's the macros, and it's the lifting. That's it. That's all you need. If you can master those 4 things, you will literally get ripped. That's all it takes. And then all you got to mix in with that is, the proper blueprint, like personalized to you, your macros and everything like that. And you just need to be accountable. You just need accountability, and you need to develop self-discipline. And you need someone to hold you accountable, and you need a group of people who are actually living that life. There's a lot of, what I realize is there's a lot of people who try to make progress, right? They try to level up. And what I realized for myself personally was it's very difficult to level up when the people that you're around have a completely different vision than you, do completely different habits than you, right? It's very difficult because you're in an environment that's running against what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to get ripped, if you're trying to quit these bad habits and become the highest version of yourself, it's very difficult to do that when you live around people and all your friends are people who go out and get wasted at the bars. All your friends are people who, smoke weed, and all you do is just get together and smoke weed. It's very hard when your family or your significant other, all they do is go out and get fast food or go to the store and buy, junk food and bring it home. It's very difficult to do that. So that's why it's crucial to have a support network of other people that you can relate to, at least that you know there's other people on the same path as you, so you're not completely alone. Because human beings were herd. We like to be in like herds, right? We like to be in tribes. We don't like to be the outsider. So so if you're living this life, the one I promote, the method that I promote, which is, quitting your bad habits, actually getting disciplined, none of the freaking, quick fix, fat burning supplement, scammy bullshit, no extreme diet or whatever, hitting your macros, being in a calorie deficit. This all requires discipline, right? The training requires discipline. It requires you to actually go to the gym, at least 3 days a week to build that muscle. It all requires discipline and mindset and habit building. And the majority of the population out there, they're not even aware of it. Like they aren't even aware that this is an option. And it's sad, but it's the truth. And so if you want to actually take this road, you would do well by being around other people who are on a similar path. And you would do well by, making sure that you have someone, it could even be your significant other, or possibly maybe a friend who's trying to go along a similar journey to you, to hold you accountable, or a coach to hold you accountable to the process so you can actually get this done. I mean, this whole process, you guys don't understand how fast you can transform when you have all these things dialed in. What I'm telling you, this is all taking me literally years of research, of experimentation, of learning from other people's, like my own mentors and coaches, books and courses. There's so much years worth of information that is condensed into this process, that the reality is, if you don't learn, if you don't have someone to guide you, it's going to be 10 times more difficult. So that's the mindset I want to give to you today. That's the mindset. It's a Friday, and I just wanted to share that with you because it's something that I'm also making for myself, just to remind myself, because I have to stay strong because there's so few people out here who are actually living this way. But it is a way that is so rewarding in terms of your internal state that I would never go back. I would never go back just because maybe, I'm a little bit lonely in the sense of there aren't very many people I know doing this. I would never trade it, ever. I'd rather be alone, but feeling that state of purpose and that fulfillment on the inside, than to be around a whole bunch of people where we're basically just addiction buddies and we're all just coping with how bad our life is by getting wasted every single night. So that's the idea. Have fun this weekend, enjoy it, just maintain and stick to your habits, right, at all times. Make sure you get it in throughout the day. Even if you have to do it earlier, you have to do it later in the day, it can't always be at the same exact time during the day. Just make sure you get those habits in and you don't miss a day, because when you miss the day, you're going to know it, you're going to feel it, you're going to feel it like in a lower vibrational state, and it's going to suck. Of course, check link in the description. We've got the free course, the fat loss course. It's going to walk you step by step through the process to basically just everything I just talked about. It just goes in a little bit more detail, and you just got to join the group. The course is located inside the group, and so basically you can just hop in there, join the group, join the community, and just meet some other guys who are on the same journey, and be able to get the course, and you'll go through it and then see what you want to do from there. So that's basically it, bro. Have a great weekend, and stay strong out there.